Sorry guys, I'm just getting set up because I wasn't ready yet. Alright, so this is going to be for Pisces. Okay, now that we've got all that going, I think we're okay. I think we're ready. Let's use the bumping on the marquee. Alright, we're going to get started. So this is for Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. This is for the month of May. Apologies that these are a bit late this month. To get started, I'm going to pull from the Moonology Oracle, just as a general quick overview for you guys for the month of May, Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. Thank you all for watching, even if it's for 30 seconds, even if it's for 30 minutes. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your likes, comments and subscriptions. I appreciate the support. All right, let's see what we've got here for Pisces. Just a one card overview for Pisces for May 2019. Thank you. Okay, the end of a tough cycle approaches. It's popped out for you guys. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So this is the completion of something. This is the closing down of something. This may even be, for a lot of you, walking away from something that no longer serves you. I feel like a lot of this is to do with you guys and your own recognition, your own ability to see situations that aren't serving you anymore, people that aren't serving you anymore, and having the strength and the knowledge and the self-acceptance to be able to go, this isn't for me, and walking away. So this is a great energy to have. It's welcoming the closing of doors, bringing on the closing of doors and welcoming you into your life. Okay, let's see what else we have. I'm going to leave that there. Oh God, I'm banging the whole joint around here. Okay, let's see. Let's get into for Pisces. Sun, Moon and Rising for May 2019. What messages do we have for Pisces? Alright. Let's see what we've got going on for you guys. May 2019 Pisces. Alright, so we're good to go. Guys, I'm looking around today to see what else we've got coming out. Just takes me a little minute to get going, guys, so don't I apologize if I'm just sort of sitting here in silence and just getting a feel for what's coming in. There's that new beginnings, new release, letting go, moving on, saying bye, Felicia. All right. Okay, we're gonna leave that one there, just as a reminder. Right. All right, I'm just going to have a little bit of a feel here and see what's coming in. Yeah, so much like what your the end of a tough cycle approaches, you've got the Death card coming out. So this is big changes, endings, realizing that it's time to move on. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be going through a bit of a self-transformation period that doesn't end with the end of the month. It continues on further. I feel like these changes that you guys are going through and are welcoming, I feel that these are changes that you're implementing yourself. You're aware of the fact that these changes coming. It's not like, you're going through the motions and one day you have to move. It's not that kind of a change. It's not sudden. It's it's planned, it's spiritual, it's work that's been done. You've implemented these changes, you're aware of it, you're aware of people that you don't want to engage with anymore, you're aware of people that aren't right for you. Um, friendship groups are changing, I'm seeing here. And it's decisions that you're making. It's like you've gone, what do I want? What do I want from the people that I surround myself with? What do the people I surround myself with bring to the table for me? How can I engage with those that I've formulated into my close circle, my group of friends? And you're re-evaluating. And this isn't like, I feel that when some of you hear this, it's kind of going to be met with um, an opinion of, oh, well, that's arrogant. What am I going to get from my friends kind of attitude? And that's not the case at all. It's being aware and accepting that there are, as you grow and as you change, which you will do naturally throughout life. Everybody goes through phases where you realize that the people that are around you aren't the best people for you, because your opinions have changed, your perspective on life has changed, what you want from life has changed. When you're in your 20s, you go through the party scene, so you might have friends that enable you to do that. You want to party, you want to have fun, so you circulate yourself with friends that allow you to do that. As you grow, your friends will go with you, and some of them won't. Some of them will stay back, and that's totally fine. But I'm definitely seeing a lot of changes coming up for you guys, but these are self-inflicted changes. These are choices that you've made to implement change. Apologize for sniffing too, guys. Okay, what else have we got here? I feel that for a lot of you, you're going to be coming into a period, maybe already into a period of just, I want to say self-sufficiency. And I say this because I feel like your finances have taken a bit of a turning point, where you've kind of looked at your financial situation from a perspective of burden, from thinking about money in a way where it's like, I've never had money, so I'm never going to have money. I feel like whoever this is relating to, you've stopped that thought process, and you've really come into a period where you're not living beyond your means. You're nowhere near where you want to be, but you're I want to say gratitude, but it's like you're realizing that what you have now and what you're what you have now and what you're living with now is sufficient. You're grateful for what you have. You realize that there's a roof over your head. You're realizing that you're able, if you need, you can have, you're not without. And what I'm hearing is that's a great frame of mind to be in, because it is going to open up more doors for you. There is mention here of in that self-abundance, in that self-gratitude for what it is that you do have, you're able to get new ideas and fresh perspective, and sort of, rather than focusing on the I'm not where I want to be, you're able to see what you can be doing to get where you want to be, is what I'm seeing with this for you guys. Excuse me. And there's just a reminder there with that, just to have faith in that process, just to have faith that the work that you're doing is being heard. But in that being grateful for what you have right now, it's almost like not that you lose passion for seeking what it is that you've always wanted, but it's kind of taken that edge off of needing it to happen right now. Um, okay. Yeah. And I do see with this, there is, for a lot of you, there is that new coming in. I feel like there's some of you out there that feel like you're kind of drumming up. It's like you're beating your head against the wall. I feel like you thought, I'm not where I want to be financially, so I'm going to go get that second job. You've gone and got that second job and you're nowhere further. It's just like you can't seem to catch up or get in front, is how this is coming in. And I do see that there's a need for you to perhaps work out where you can slow down. If you can slow down, slow down. But I feel that in regards to this situation for somebody here, this person that's gone and got the second job, I feel like you think you needed the second job, but when you've looked at the situation, it's like, I really didn't need this second job. Like, I'm busting my ass and I really didn't have to. So there might be a walking away here. So whoever's just gone and got a second job, who doesn't want the second job, I think you are realizing that you don't need it and you're going to walk away from it. Yeah, the second job wasn't. Yeah, okay. I'm going to leave that there, guys. I feel that there's a real sense of some of you just throwing caution to the wind. I feel that there's been several situations where you felt like you've had to stay held back because of circumstances that you felt were out of your control. And it's like you're coming into a period where it's like, stuff, I don't even care anymore. I want to do this for myself, so I'm going to do it for myself. So there's a sense of just not really giving us stuff about obligation and the have to do's. And that could just be in a sense that I feel some of you just need to have a little bit more fun, get out of the regimen. I feel like some of you are just so caught up in the stuff that you feel obligated to do or that you have to do. And there's a real need to maybe let that go to some extent and give yourself a minute to have some fun, to let your hair down, to sort of go, oh, you know what, stuff it for today. I'm not going to do what I have to do. Scorpio, sorry, Kim, I just seen your comment. Let me have a look and see. Yes, I've done the Scorpios for this month. So if you go to my channel, you should be able to see the playlist for this month, Kim, and it should be there for you, sweet. Thank you for popping in. So getting back to this, I feel that there's a real need to sort of go, you know, I'm sick of doing this. I'm sick of doing everything that I have to do and being bogged down. I just want to have a bit of fun. And that's totally fine. Like, you have to get that balance back. You have to allow yourself time to have a little bit of fun. I see that with this letting go and with this, you know, new energy and giving yourself a little bit of time for yourself, whatever this is, you know, this might just be going out for dinner. It might even just be going to a cafe with a coffee and reading a damn book. But I feel that with this kind of release and letting go and allowing yourself to go out and explore a little bit more, you are welcoming in new energy. And for a lot of you, I feel that this is a new love prospect. And how this is coming through is there's a need for you to give yourself this time in order to welcome in this new energy. So if this is resonating for you and you're someone that's kind of like, I want to fall in love, I'm ready to fall in love, but you're not getting your butt up off the couch, or you're not allowing yourself to go and have fun because you feel so caught up with the stuff that you've got to do. I'm hearing that in order to make that happen, you need to give yourself time to have enjoyment for yourself. Give yourself a reason to smile. Don't go through the everyday paces of stuff that you've got to do because you could miss out on something great. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is a work-related situation for someone, and there's a need to be mindful. I feel like there's a team effort project, like there's a collaboration, there's something that you and another co-worker are working on, and I feel like one of them's sitting pretty and they're not helping and they're not chiming in and they're not giving the same effort that you are, and you're kind of over here busting your ass and doing everything that needs to be done, and they're just kind of sitting back and taking half the credit. There might be a need to be open with this person and have this conversation and sort of ask them, like, ask them why it is that they think that they can just sit back and then take half the credit. They need to do half the work as well. I just feel that in relation for this situation to change and for you to not be the only person that's contributing, there needs to be that conversation. Otherwise, it's just going to keep happening. This other person's not going to go to anybody and say, hey, I'm not doing half the work here, give all the credit to so-and-so. They're not going to do that. You need to initiate this conversation. If you go to this person and they don't respect the fact that you've addressed this with them, then take it further. Do what needs to be done. Like, there's no good in sitting back and not speaking up and wallowing in the process. You need to make that change. Okay, let me just see what we've got here with this Queen of Cups. I feel that there's a need for somebody's been thinking about, or it's like, there's a feeling that somebody here has been feeling a real disconnect with themselves, and this is something that's come up recently, maybe in the last 2 months is what I'm hearing. If this relates to you and you feel like you've gone from being a really positive person, a really energetic person, like you sort of got your ducks lined up, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, and then at this point now you don't feel like that anymore, you feel lost, you feel confused, you feel like you're coming into a place, I want to say, almost of darkness, where you're kind of feeling stagnant and stuck. There's a message here for you to perhaps go and seek a Reiki practitioner, and that might seem a little bit left field, but this is going to resonate, I feel, for one person that's kind of been thinking this and feeling this way. They're like, oh, I just feel shit, I feel ratchet, I don't know what's going on with me at the moment. Maybe I should try something different. Maybe I should go. And I feel like you've been getting signs, and Reiki has been coming up a lot for you. What I'm hearing here, if this is resonating for you, definitely look into it and go to it and go and do it. I feel that you will, and I feel like it will be a male practitioner. So perhaps seek out in your area for a male practitioner. Okay. There's also a sense here of there's a lot of bogged down for you guys, or at least some of you, where it seems like there's just obligation. There's so much that has to be done that you maybe don't necessarily want to do, and this might even be realizing that. It may even be that there's a need to realize that it's okay to say, I don't want to do this, and then work out ways in which you can go about not having to do it. There may also be, pressure put on yourself to maintain obligations because you're like the sort of person that doesn't like to say no. And you feel like, I'm obligated to do this because I said that I would do this, but I actually didn't really want to do this. I was kind of put on the spot. Know that you can change these patterns. You can change these ways of thinking, these ways of feeling. I'm going to get a little bit off left field, go a little bit left field. Because I want to say, okay, let's just see what's going on here for a second. Okay, I feel like this is relating again probably to only one person. And I could be wrong. That's totally fine. It wouldn't be the first time. But I feel like somebody's really gone through a bit of a spiritual awakening. I feel like this is somebody that is working a lot with meditation and maybe even doing work with past life regression in order to clear up old karmas and what have you, releasing past cycles, releasing past fears and situations that are holding you back in the future. And I feel that this has allowed you, this process of meditation, this process of opening up to spirit, opening up to your inner soul, your inner I want to say your inner dialogue, like your intuition. Just there's a large focus on that for this particular person, and I do feel that this end of a tough cycle is the result of you going through this spiritual awakening, going through these spiritual processes that you've sort of allowed yourself to welcome in. And there's a real something has been tied to you for so many years, whether it's an emotional state of mind, whether it's somebody that has constantly popped up over the years and has wronged you and has wronged you and has wronged you. And I feel that just with what it is that you've been going in and doing for yourself internally, you've really gained new perspective. This your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening to this point has really allowed you to realize that I don't have to put up with this person anymore. I don't have to put up with this bullshit, this shitty stuff, this just badgering from this person and negativity. I don't have to put up with that. But you've also realized that in this process, you don't have to go and put on a big song and dance about the fact that you don't have to put up with it. It's like in the past, you've really felt, and this isn't to say that this is a bad thing at all. This is a great quality to have, to stick up for yourself and, really go against those that hurt you. But you've realized, I don't have to go in so hard. I don't have to go in so deep. I don't have to, stand up for myself in such a way that one, it knocks somebody else down, but that I walk away from the situation feeling worse than when I did going into it. So there's a real sort of learning going on here for you, and you are starting to let go of people, places, though this situation that doesn't serve you anymore. It's almost like you have built this protection for yourself, and it's like anything that anyone is throwing at you, you just have the mental capability, you have the inner strength, the inner knowing, the clarity to be able to just move on from it. It's like taking a really big, deep breath in and exhaling, and that feeling of calm has just washed over you. And this is great. I feel like this is a real turning point for you, and this is going to get you really set off onto a new phase of your soul's journey, a new phase of a life for you. Really exciting. That's really good stuff, really exciting stuff I'm hearing there. And you're proud of yourself for that because you've done this by yourself. So, kudos to you, bros. What else have we got? Okay, there might be a possible business partnership. I feel like this is something that's gone on as a minor. It's begun as a minor sort of process. That doesn't make sense. What are you trying to say? Like it started off as something that was kind of not meant to be a big deal, and things are starting to pick up and progress and expand, I want to say. There might even be, a need for growth that perhaps you might be resisting to some extent. You might not be ready for this growth. I feel like with the idea of bringing new people in, or with expansion, or with maybe even relocation, this has kind of got you a little bit overwhelmed. You're like, how do I even, where do I even, what do I even? It's almost like you don't really want to think about it at this point. It might even be that it's happened too quick, that you're doubting the fact that no, like this can't be right because we've only just started this and already it's like, boom, we're going. There's a need here to trust it, to not block yourself off, to just going to have to compromise. You're just going to have to compromise, and you are going to have to make a decision. So there may be a need to compromise on, either way. I see this is that whatever it is that you're involved in, it's growing, and that much isn't going to change. So trust that the growth is a positive. You need to look at it from more of a positive perspective. You aren't going to be able to control the whole situation, but know that knowing that not controlling the pace at which your ideas and business, whatever this collaboration is, the pace at which it grows, accept that as a positive. Accept that as a positive. Okay, so the reason that you're holding back from this is because of a past situation that didn't work out and didn't, it's too much was wanting to be done at too early of a stage is what I'm seeing here. And I understand that this is what's got you sort of questioning and being held back, but I don't see that being the case with this. I definitely don't. Let me see here. Yeah, I definitely don't see that being the same thing here. There's a lesson to be learned with this. For you to accept this situation, to make a decision, know that you have the capability to make the final decision, and trust that the situation's going to work out. I feel like this will happen in a couple of weeks. A decision will be made in a couple of days, and the pour out, the overflow from that decision will be effective within a couple of weeks. So whatever you decide, whatever you agree upon, either with expansion or expansion either with relocation or expansion with the welcoming of maybe new staff or a new partner or whatever that is, you'll make the decision with that in the next coming days, and the payback or the progress or the result of that you'll start to see in the next couple of weeks. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, and just know that your doubts with this situation come from that past experience, but realize there's a need to realize and understand that the doubts involving this situation direct, regardless of what's gone on in previous situation, they're self-imposed restrictions. So it's not reality based on what's happening now with this situation, and there's a need for you to know that. Okay. So look at the situation more positive. Look at the changes as a positive, not a negative. Okay. Let me see. I think this is going together. Let me just see what else comes up with this one. Okay, so okay, so I feel that there's a situation going on for someone where there was a need to make a decision. This is separate to what we've already talked about. So there was a need to make a decision. You've made the decision. It hasn't worked out. I feel like the decision was made with the idea that if I do it this way, it's going to work out for me the best way possible. You may have even had to, perhaps I want to say, like there's a sense of what's that saying, like cutting a bridge, breaking a bridge, bridges are broken. You've had to sort of cut ties with someone almost, or you've done something, you've gone about this decision in a way that has had somebody cut ties from you. And it's not worked out in the way that you thought it was going to work out. I think you were looking at this like, this is something that I have to do in order to get what I need to get, or there was some sort of gain that was the result of making this decision. And it hasn't worked out, and you're feeling really isolated. And I think that you feel that there's no way to reach out to this person and, I want to say, make amends, because I feel like deep down that's what you want to do, but you don't see that as being a possibility. It's like this situation's gone too far. The decision that you've made has caused this ripple effect that's out of your control now. It's gone too far. Excuse me. I feel like in relation to this situation, there's a need to sort of not sit back, to not wait around. There's a need to make a decision about how it is that you're going to go further. If you feel that you can just go further without even having to rectify what was broken here, then you can try and do that. But I feel that by doing that, by ignoring the situation and just sort of like going further with it without really trying to fix it, I feel like this is something that you will carry with yourself, and it will be something that you will regret. And I feel that you already are aware of that fact. there might be, what I'm seeing here, and it's going to sound so cliche, but there's a need here to trust your intuition, because you're already seeing the situation from what it is. You know that you can't move forward without fixing it first. So it's like, why are you even thinking about not dealing with it? Yeah, there's just a need to not be stubborn, to not allow yourself to not be vulnerable here. So, you know, present yourself in this situation from a place of vulnerability. You've realized that you've made the wrong decision. So accept that, and accept that you can change the outcome. You know, nothing's set in stone. Your actions have reactions. If you move forward with this in an act of doing something about it, in a way to do something about it, I do see that it has the potential here to work out. But you just have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with this person that I feel like you've wronged in this situation. And I mean, it's up to them with what they do with what you go to them with. Does that make sense? But it's up to them how they react to your response to the situation and how you're going to handle the situation. But don't let that hold you back. You know, I'm not going to go and talk to them because they're just going to, I'm not going to go and speak to them about this because they're just going to react in this way. How they react isn't important. The fact that you go and try and deal with it, that is what is important. Because I feel that by not doing anything about it, it's going to hold you back. You're going to regret it, and it's going to come up again for you later anyway. Like, this isn't something that you can walk away from. Let me just see. And I feel that once you've dealt with that, so once you've sort of done what needs to be done with that, you can move on. Because I think, knowing, one, that you just have to deal with it anyway, so you have to approach it in some way, shape or form. So you can either go about it in the way that is direct and offers a chance to mend the situation and heal and grow from the situation, or you can go about it the other way. So that much is up to you, but definitely you have to deal with it. And then once this is sort of sorted, and if you do approach it in a way that is positive, regardless of how you're going to be met with response, this is going to open up a new door for you. And you're not looking at the situation as that even being a possibility. You're almost in a state of depression about this, in a sense of just thinking negatively about, how can I go on from this? How can I move forward from this? And they want you to realize that you can, and that you will. Once you address what needs to be done, you just have to do this. Then you will start to get out of that fog and be able to move forward in a bit more of a positive light, is what I'm seeing here. Alrighty, I'm going to leave that there for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope that these messages resonate for you. Do let me know. You can either mention it in the comments, give me a like, subscribe, or hit me up at my email address, spiritualmediumshannon@outlook.com. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for watching. I hope you have a great month, and I think I've only got one left to do. I'll be moving on to Scorpio. Sorry, I told Kim before that I'd done Scorpio. I apologize. I'm doing Scorpio next, Kim, if you're still here. All right, guys. Thank you. Love you. Bye.